Hoda Kotb's return to Today came at a moment when the show's normally upbeat tone had been replaced by anxiety, heartbreak, and a nation holding its breath as the urgent search for the mother of co-anchor Savannah Guthrie continues to unfold in real time. Just days after quietly stepping back into the studio, Hoda Kotb was met with emotional embraces from her co-hosts and a flood of supportive messages from viewers who understood that her return wasn't just about television, it was about showing up for a colleague whose world had suddenly been turned upside down. Savannah Guthrie's mother, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, vanished from her Arizona home under circumstances that authorities now describe as deeply concerning, sparking a massive investigation involving local law enforcement and federal authorities. What began as a missing persons report quickly escalated into what many believe is a suspected abduction, and with every passing hour, the fear surrounding Nancy's safety has only intensified. Savannah, who has been a familiar face in American households for more than a decade, abruptly stepped away from her on-air duties to be with her family, abandoning scheduled appearances and major coverage assignments without hesitation. For viewers accustomed to seeing her every morning with a calm smile and steady professionalism, her sudden absence spoke louder than any announcement ever could. Behind the scenes, the Guthrie family has been living a nightmare, coordinating with investigators, responding to tips, and desperately hoping for any sign that Nancy is alive and safe. According to authorities, Nancy was last seen near her home in a quiet suburban neighborhood, an area known more for peaceful evenings than criminal activity. Friends and neighbors described her as sharp-minded, warm, deeply involved in her community, and fiercely independent despite her age. She attended church regularly, kept in touch with loved ones, and followed daily routines that made her sudden disappearance all the more alarming. When police first arrived at the home, they reportedly found signs that raised immediate red flags. Within hours, the case intensified. Search teams flooded the area, helicopters canvassed the surrounding desert landscape. Detectives began interviewing neighbors, reviewing security footage, and tracking any digital or financial activity linked to Nancy. Then came the development that pushed the story into terrifying territory, reports of possible ransom demands. While investigators have remained careful about what they publicly confirm, multiple family appeals suggest that someone claiming to have Nancy has attempted contact, setting deadlines and demanding proof-of-life exchanges. The family has pleaded for any person involved to show undeniable evidence that Nancy is alive before any negotiations can move forward. Savannah's voice trembled in recorded statements shared with the public as she asked directly for compassion, for proof, and for her mother's safe return. Her siblings joined in those emotional pleas, one brother, a former fighter pilot, speaking with heartbreaking calm as he urged whoever might be holding Nancy to simply let her go. The family made it clear they are ready to cooperate, ready to talk, ready to do whatever it takes, but only if they know their mother is truly alive. Meanwhile, federal agents quietly joined the investigation, offering resources, expertise, and even a financial reward for information leading to Nancy's recovery. Tips have poured in from across the country, some credible, many false, each lead requiring time, manpower, and emotional energy to investigate. Authorities have repeatedly urged the public not to spread rumors, not to post speculative sightings, and not to interfere with the investigation by turning social media into a crime-solving free-for-all. But in the age of viral news, that's easier said than done. Online, thousands of viewers have turned into armchair detectives, analyzing satellite maps, dissecting family interviews, and debating theories ranging from targeted kidnapping to random crime to elaborate scams. At the same time, the overwhelming majority of responses have been messages of prayer, support, and heartbreak for Savannah and her family. Back at the Today Show studio, the atmosphere has been noticeably heavier. Hoda Kotb's return marked the first time since the crisis began that the full emotional weight of the situation seemed to hit viewers directly. As someone who has stood beside Savannah through career milestones, personal struggles, and life's celebrations, Hoda's presence was both comforting and symbolic. She spoke openly about how devastating the situation is, reminding audiences that Savannah has always been the first to support others through their darkest moments, and now it's time for that love to be returned. Co-hosts carefully balanced professionalism with compassion, sharing limited updates while making it clear that the family's privacy and the investigation's integrity come first. But no amount of careful language could hide the fear behind their eyes. This wasn't just a news story. This was family. As days turned into sleepless nights, investigators continued piecing together Nancy's last known movements. Surveillance cameras from nearby homes and businesses were combed through frame by frame, cell phone pings analyzed, financial records examined for suspicious activity. Search teams expanded their radius, canine units scoured surrounding areas, flyers were distributed, tip lines flooded. Yet despite the massive effort, answers have remained painfully scarce. What makes the case even more terrifying is Nancy's health. Family members have shared that she requires daily medication, and extended time without it could put her life in serious danger. That reality adds urgency to every hour that passes without contact. The emotional toll on Savannah has been unimaginable. Friends say she hasn't left her family's side, barely sleeping, constantly fielding calls from investigators, and clinging to every potential lead with cautious hope. For someone who has spent her career reporting on tragedies, now living one has been devastating beyond words. Viewers who have followed Savannah's journey from covering major political events to sharing stories about motherhood now feel personally invested in her pain. And that connection is what has made this story resonate so deeply across the country. It's not just about a missing woman, it's about watching someone we recognize and trust endure the worst fear any child can experience. As the investigation continues, authorities remain tight-lipped about many details, confirming only that they are actively pursuing multiple leads and treating the case with the highest urgency. They've emphasized that even the smallest piece of information, a dashcam video, a suspicious vehicle, or an unfamiliar face in the neighborhood, could be the key to breaking the case open. Meanwhile, the Guthrie family continues to hold on to hope. In every message they share, the theme remains the same. They believe Nancy is alive, they believe she can come home, and they will not stop fighting until she does. Hoda Kotb's presence on the show now feels like an anchor, someone holding the emotional center steady while the storm rages around their colleague. She's spoken about faith, about resilience, about the power of community in moments like these. And judging by the outpouring of love from viewers across the world, that community is showing up in full force. Still, questions remain. Who would target an elderly woman in a quiet neighborhood? Was this planned or opportunistic? Is the ransom real or a cruel hoax taking advantage of a family's desperation? Investigators haven't ruled anything out. What they do know is that time matters, and every hour counts. As America continues to watch, pray, and hope, the story of Nancy Guthrie is far from over. It is a reminder of how quickly normal life can shatter, how public figures are not immune to private tragedy, and how a single disappearance can ripple across families, workplaces, and millions of strangers who suddenly care deeply. For now, Savannah Guthrie remains away from the camera, focused on one mission: bringing her mother home. Hoda Kotb remains on air, carrying both the weight of friendship and the responsibility of keeping viewers informed. And a nation waits, hoping, praying, and believing that this story will end not in heartbreak, but in reunion. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.